And then continuing along, I will jump ahead here. Okay. Another car art piece I did is I put I had renovated this car. I bought it and it wasn't in very good shape, and I fixed the body and I put a new engine in it. I put all new upholstery seats in it. It's a convertible 1967 Mustang, and it's titled Commute. There are 2 solar panels on the back over the trunk. They're powering the heater unit that's working inside here that is heating up the coffee. It is filled with over 100 pounds of ground coffee, and it's set up with the little server right in the middle so that while you're driving down the freeway in traffic, you can be serving your hot coffee. And I showed it at a FAR, which is Foundation for Art Resource. They had it a part of the Venice Art Walk, where outside of people's studios, where everyone was walking around, we had set up car art. So I did this piece for that, and people got to walk up. And it had a plexiglass cover so the coffee wouldn't blow out when you're driving down the freeway. And then I also had it playing news and weather reports, traffic reports for LA, but they were recordings I had downloaded and put, they were actually from Vietnam War. So you'd be 1967, you'd be listening to our casualties, which is something I grew up protesting. I was a child who carried protest signs saying war is not healthy for children, and bins and peace marches. My parents took me to Century City to the big peace march. We were in San Francisco. So I was raised to consider issues and ways to reach people's awareness, such as through an automobile in Southern California. This piece is Prozac Rosary.
Oh, wow.
And that is a rosary made out of actual, my dear mother who has passed away, but at the time she was taking these, basically a Prozac is what's the proper term? I want to say a mood elevator, but it's not. It's
it's an antidepressant.
It's an antidepressant.
Yeah.
So my mother was taking those, and my mother also had just become a born-again Jew for Jesus. Dedicated to her, and because I was into making jewelry, I got jeweler's tools, and with a fine diamond bit, I drilled into the ends of the pills. And at the time, this was very expensive. This was actually about $400 worth of Prozac. Now, of course, Prozac is generic, and you can get it much cheaper, but these were the real thing. So that's Prozac Rosary, and then other things. These are Wellbutrin, which is another antidepressant, and they're different prescriptive levels, the yellow and the red ones.
Wow.
And then this piece, I am going to, let's see, I'm going to have to look up the name of it because I'm not remembering right now. The name of it is Inside. And what this is a glass globe from a building that was being torn down, an inch globe from this light fixture that was probably from the 40s. And then I mounted it on a wall horizontally. Actually, the glass is going vertical, and it has a pumping oil derrick right here.
Yes.
The oil derrick is pumping up and down. And another globe I did, this piece is titled Parish, and it's a view of a church. And actually, in this little view here, you can see there's little people walking into it. But in particular, this piece was important for, again, I'm trying to show I'm very concerned about fossil fuels and the damage that it's causing to our environment. I'm currently to the point where I'm rendered almost speechless. I am trying to join in the protest against fracking, but I'm so overwhelmed by the Democratic Party supporting it, and President Obama, who I campaigned for twice and worked and helped donate to his campaign and did events and everything, has turned out to be just like George Bush. You know, he's supporting fossil fuels. He's supporting fracking. He's supporting damaging our environment. And so...
He's supporting...
Yes, he is. We'll see if he stops the XL pipeline, but he's not stopping us from... He just authorized them to build 2 new nuclear power plants. How on earth would think of a nuclear power plant after Fukushima and the amount of radioactive waste we have?
Well, I think he has a lot of... I mean, he cannot do what he wants to do.
That's true.
That's the problem. I think his hands are very much tied.
The Affordable Care Act, I don't even call it Obamacare. The Affordable Care Act is a great thing. It is helping many people. It was not done correctly, though. If he really cared, of course, you would just take our existing Medicare system and extend it to younger people, extend it to all age groups. But I don't want the health industry to be for profit.
Well, I'm sure he doesn't, but...
I do believe he's brought a lot of our troops home. I believe that we don't have anywhere near the amount of troops in Afghanistan. I know he's gotten us out of Iraq, but I believe that we're still in World War III. It's just not being publicized, but they're still spending so many billions of dollars on defense.
Yes, but that's not, he can't really stop that.
Well, if enough people could raise their voice, maybe. But.
Well, there is my vision of artists helping these kind of issues, and that's what you do.
And I hope so. And it disturbs me that I go to galleries, museums, all sorts of institutions all over this city to see art. I go all over, all the way from Pasadena to Long Beach I drive all over to different institutions, and you don't see very much art that is confronting political issues. And I know that we're not all a center for political graphics or a self-healing or a self-help group, but I believe that artists can reach so many people and they don't do it enough.
Exactly, I'm agreeing totally with you. This is my vision, that we need to somehow make them aware of the situation, that we need to help. We need to help. And that's our job, because artists can have the most freedom.
Yes.
And the creative power. And if we don't do it, nobody will do it.